I want to say, Mary, that the collaboration with you and Susan was undoubtedly the most professionally satisfying experience that I think I will have in my life, which is sort of sad because it happened when I was 35. But it really was amazing working with you both, and I learned so much. I would consider you to be mentors, except for you're both such good friends that seems like a silly way to look at it. So, to be introduced by my dear friend Mary, who is not only a dear friend but an idol, a giant in the central civil rights movement of our generation. But also, for those of you who may not know her as well, I can assure you a warm, thoughtful, and incredibly fun friend. Is incredibly humbling, and I'm deeply honored. So thank you for that amazing introduction. I sort of feel like those of us in Vermont should be schlepping down here tonight to give GLAAD an award, because GLAAD has been so amazingly involved from the beginning. I can remember the meeting that in my own mind I consider to be kind of the birth of the Vermont Freedom to Marry Task Force in a cold church basement, a dozen ragtag Vermonters sort of talking about what we were going to do in November of 1995, and Amelia Craig from GLAAD was in the room. In fact, I think if that was the birth, the conception was the meeting that Mary described, which was coincidentally about 9 months earlier. So GLAAD really has been there from the start in Vermont, while also moving forward throughout New England. So I just want to thank GLAAD for all of its amazing work. For those of you who just wrote checks, your money is being well spent, and for those of you who haven't, there's still time. So thank you. We had our 15 minutes of fame in Vermont back in 2000, and then we kind of dropped off the national radar screen, only to reappear in April of 2009 to be the first state to legislatively enact equal right to marriage for same-sex couples. We were not eating bonbons in those intervening 9 years. It took incredible dedication by thousands of Vermonters to pave the way between the Take Back Vermont signs, the opposition's takeover of our legislature, the House's repeal of the civil union law, and a real sense that marriage was a very distant hope to that day in April 2009. And I can't begin to tell you how many hundreds of meetings in living rooms and church basements and business offices around the state, and how many thousands of letters, and how many phone calls and arguments and strategizing and everything else was involved in that process. And I feel privileged to stand here because I know I'm here tonight because I had the good fortune of being a member of an amazing team of Vermonters who was committed to making it happen. And I have the opportunity to be sort of a proxy for all of those folks. I'm not the only one, though, here in the room tonight. We've got tables full of Vermonters, and I want to tell you, this was such a team effort. This was no one person. This was thousands of people, and it would mean a lot to me if you would give a big hand to the Vermonters in the room. Please stand up, Vermonters. Come on, I know you're here. Come on, stand up.